Is this March Madness is one of a kind. One of a kind. You have not seen this happen before. University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Wow. I was shocked. I was telling my wife, we were driving around, and I'm like, this is the first time this has ever happened. This is unheard of. See if we have any other big upsets today or tomorrow. I want to see this next round of who they're going to face. Who they have up next on their schedule. North Carolina plays Texas A&M tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And we got Tyler Esparza-Powell on the line. What's going on, man? I know it's been a minute.
Ben, my man, I miss talking to you. Glad to be back on.
Definitely appreciate you for coming on the show. Follow him on all avenues of social media, Tyler ESP_, so you can be on top of what's going on in his world. So, you were a Cowboys fan, and now a Rams fan. We got to talk about this. Now, look, I'm with you. I'm with you there because I was a Bay Area fan. I was a Raiders fan. I was a 49ers fan growing up. I moved here to Texas, went to the training camp, and I fell in love with the guys. So I get it. So I'm not gonna dog you, but I want you to tell the story on what happened.
Ben. First of all, I would love to say what poetic justice we saw this year. Now, not only do we have the fans who are blaming Romo, but now we have people saying that Dez Bryant just lost his talent. Like, oh my goodness! Do you see how the tables turn so quickly? But anyway, I could not deal with the fans not one bit longer, man. It's just always someone to be blamed who just can't take the blame. And, as you know, I was out there in Southern California a couple months. A couple friends were Rams fans. They tried to convince me, but the thing that really got me was when I ran into Todd Gurley, and he just seemed like such a chill guy, taking a couple minutes, to talk to someone who's just a football fan. And he's just so humble, and that was just kind of the final straw. You put those three things together. And then, of course, you have the Cowgirl fans just calling me, in my
all kind of names, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness! But I love it, man.
And we are. I'm a Cowboys fan, as y'all all know. Everybody in the chat room, we are so sensitive. We are just. We are some of the worst fans. Okay, I know y'all already know that, but we are us. And Philly though is number one because y'all y'all trying to climb light poles and all kind of crazy stuff like that. But I'm not gonna put y'all. I'm not gonna put us over y'all. But we get so sensitive, and now we don't have any argument with the Eagles. Like, that was our argument all along. Y'all never won one. Now they finally got one, so now we got to come up with a different argument. But
I got to say, I know you probably weren't too happy with it, but they really did have a hell of a team.
They did.
Oh, man. And Nick Foles, what a story, just he was going to retire. He was never going to be hurt. He was going to be, maybe a broadcaster or something, some small-time guy, and then to just resurrect his career, just incredible. But he's got to get the hell out of there and get paid.
Right, exactly. And, I thought he was going to he was getting ready to work in insurance or something. Nick Foles, the insurance, the State Farm guy is almost what he was going to be. But he came back, and they flat out won a Super Bowl. So, but I got to ask you with these Rams, now, getting Marcus Peters on one side. You got Aqib Talib on the other side. You got Aaron Donald. I'm sure they're not done yet. You still got the draft. They got young coaching. They got young players. What is this team going to be like next year? With all these additions, you think?
First of all, I have to clarify. For everyone calling me bandwagon, this team went 4-12, and I started rooting for them in July. So no bandwagon here, if anyone was thinking that. But anyway, what a progression this year. To see Goff really bounce back. I wasn't I wasn't, always huge on Goff. I love Wentz, and I still believe, Wentz is the best up-and-coming quarterback, take away the injury. But, just what a turnaround. You go 28 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in your sophomore year on a team that wasn't really expected to do much other than maybe, win a couple more games. But, yeah, then defensively, how can you I don't know what Kansas City is doing. I just want to throw that in there quick. You give up a guy who's got you to the playoff. Alex Smith, brought him from 4-12 to the playoffs a couple straight seasons, and you're going to go with a young gun rookie who, he's going to be a hit or miss. That's simple. Right. But to add Peters, in my opinion, he's the best young corner in the game, and I don't really feel like he has attitude problems. The things that they try and point out, I feel like they're really minor. It's not like he has any Ezekiel Elliott situations going on where he's, going to get suspended for a certain amount of time. And then, Talib is the steal. This guy, I always liked him when he yanks Crabtree's chains and everything. He's an enforcer. He is just an enforcer, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to get round 3 this year. I know the Rams play Oakland, but now Crabtree's on Baltimore. But I would love to see round 3. I just think it's so important to get a tough guy. And that's something I will say Dallas has always lacked that. Who on their defense is a tough guy that's really going to – you have DeMarcus Lawrence. He is a monster. But he's not a scary dude. He's not intimidating at all. You need an enforcer. And I think he's going to bring that along with Donald on the front line.
Yeah, and I think the addition of Marcus Peters, getting both of them at the same time, how do you maneuver to do that? Whoever that Rams GM is, he needs the award now. Like, he needs to get it now before the season even starts.
And I will say, there's been a lot of talk about. I do agree. I think they're scared of Garoppolo. You see what he did in the last couple weeks in San Francisco, and people want to say, the games didn't matter. The guy blew out Jacksonville, who Jacksonville blows out Pittsburgh. The guy hasn't lost a game as a starter. I don't think ever. I don't think even on New England.
No, he hasn't.
He's a hell of a player.
Yeah, when he started those couple games with the Patriots, he started like 3 or 4 games when Tom Brady was out. He's got it. He's got it. And shout out in the chat room, Courtney Harden jumps in. Everybody talking about their bracket, which is trash. LA Broadus says his bracket is actually cool. Jelani says Les Snead. He came from Atlanta and went to the Rams as a GM. Well, that guy, he should get the award. He should get the award now. I don't even know if they have that award, but they need to create it for him. Getting both of those. And
guys. You look at Atlanta and how he left them. In perfect shape, contending every year.
Exactly. So the Rams looking good. Like I said, next week I'm gonna have a Cowboys podcast because I need to go on a rant because I'm not gonna do it right now. I already did it earlier, but we're not doing anything. So that's a whole nother story. But I think we need a dog. We need a dog on that defense. Like I'm not a huge fan of Ndamukong Suh, but people are afraid of him. People will run away from him, not because they're just trying to get away, because they're afraid. So I wouldn't doubt or hate if they did decide to pick him up, which looks like he may be going probably to Tennessee or something like that. But yeah.
And if there is a team that could get him, it would be Dallas, just because they have a reputation of taking chances on these.
Right.
Sue has never had any problems. He's just a dirty. I don't feel like there's anyone, not even Lions or Dolphin fans, even Cornhusker fans. Everyone knows he's a dirty player. I don't think there's no way around that. But, yeah, you just need someone to scare the quarterback, man. You don't want him coming at you. You don't want to be kicked in the groin when you're on the ground.
Right.
He scares quarterback.
Right. You don't want those problems. You really don't. All right, so let's talk about these Mavs here. Obviously, we knew it was going to be a disappointing year. There's no surprise. Like, if anybody didn't, early on, I thought they were possibly going to be good. I was completely wrong. At this point in time, with Wesley Matthews out for the rest of the year, it's over. You know, we're in the sweepstakes now. But I haven't had you on in a while. But Dennis Smith Jr., were you happy with that pick? First of all.
Oh yeah, he's a stud for sure. I mean, everyone wants to point out his shooting flaws, but I mean, look at Well, that is one thing. Look at Westbrook's rookie season. They have basically the same. I think it even favors DSJ a little bit in most of the areas. Now, obviously, Westbrook isn't the best shooter, but you know, man, this team, out of all the teams I root for, I mean, Minnesota Wild, Rams, Rangers. They frustrate me more than any of them because what are they doing? This past week, winning 2 games, you know, you're going from a top 4 pick to maybe the 10th pick in the draft. And they can't do anything right. But the most disappointing, honestly, part of it all, I don't know if this is getting mentioned down in Dallas or not. I still love Barnes, but he has just not made the progression. I promised my friends this guy was going to be a superstar. He's made no leaps from last year to this year. He's clearly going to be a second or third option on a team. I thought maybe, you know, having his own team, he could be a superstar in the league. But he's honestly the same player as Andrew Wiggins. I mean, he's just someone who's going to be there, but you can't really rely on him to get the buckets. I know he's made some clutch shots, but it's just disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a one option. If he was, this team would possibly be better. But at this point, with everything going on with the Mavs, with the Mark Cuban situation, that was a complete. Mark Cuban had a horrible 3 weeks. I mean, it was.
He needs to be gone. I don't understand. NBA needs to step in. I mean, I have been hoping for this. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad he turned us into a winning franchise, but he has ruined everything. He broke our 2011 team, which I to this day think we could have repeated. I know they're old, but they were just such a dominant team. He's brought nothing since 2011.
It's 7 years now. 7 years almost to the date. They're not winning anything this year, obviously. So we could go ahead and say 7 years that they have been mediocre. That's the worst spot to be in when you're just average every single year. You make the playoffs, but you're average, every single year. And I've said this before, Dirk, it is time. I don't know if you're deciding to retire or not, but it is over. It's over. Let the team continue on. We're gonna get a top 5 pick probably, and I'm gonna ask you, who do you think we should draft? But it's time for Dirk. He did a dunk. It was a couple of weeks ago, like a 2-handed alley-oop, I think it was. And my guy, it took him 15 minutes to get up in the air, and then he held on the rim for a minute because he was almost confused, wow, I don't know if I should come back down on the ground or stay up here. Or it just looked like there was another 15 minutes for him to come back down on the ground. So that to me was that was a telltale sign. The end of the road now.
I mean, it's probably me just talking because I know we're not going to compete. I would like to see him. I've wanted this for a couple of years now. I've wanted to see him as a 6th-man role, but that was because I thought we would sign some stars and be contending and have, the best 6th man in the history come off the bench. But that's just obviously we have never got anyone. The players we have got, Williams, Rondo, just haven't worked out. It's a mess. And then you're playing West now. I know he's out for the season now, but I just don't understand why we didn't ship some of these guys off. You didn't ship Noel off. He's definitely gone. I mean, he's stupid for not signing a contract. Don't get me wrong. I mean, nobody's going to pay him anything close to the $70 million mark now. But the whole team is just, and then I look at the rotation. It just makes no sense, they have guys on the team who are still old. It's time to rebuild. Why is JJ still on the team? Why is Salah Mejri on the team? He's an old dude. You want to build around youth, you got to draft. And honestly, I don't know who they should draft, man, because if they end up with the 8th pick, I don't know who's going to get that far deep in the draft. I don't want Michael Porter. I don't want him. I'm not taking those chances on the injury. I'm just not. I was a big fan,